Joining us now from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Edward Winterhalder, former leader of the Bandidos gang. I just want to bring everybody up to date. Apparently the police made a mistake, or somebody made a mistake in Texas, and they let 3 of these guys out on $50,000 bail. The rest of them being held on $1 million. And so they're at large, and they're trying to hunt them down. Now, you were in this gang, Bandidos, for 20 years. Tell us about the operation.
Well, I wasn't actually in the club for 20 years. I was an associate for the better part of 20 years, and then I was a member for 7. So,
what's an associate? Do you just get to hang around on Tuesdays, or what is that?
Well, I just, there was no Bandido chapter in Oklahoma. I lived in Oklahoma, so I spent a lot of time visiting them in other places when I was out riding my bike. And I didn't want to leave Oklahoma.
What did they do? The authorities tell us it's a big drug dealing outfit, methamphetamine, pot, that kind of thing. Is that true?
No, that's not true. That's about as far from the truth as it could be. 60 to 70% of the guys are just regular guys that have jobs, families, and kids. They go to work each day like everyone else does, and they come home. The only thing they're guilty of is having a little too much fun on the weekends.
All right. Was that your status? You didn't commit any crimes? You just want to be part of a motorcycle club?
Well, everybody gets involved because of the camaraderie and the brotherhood and the love of Harley-Davidsons to start with, but also they're searching for something that they didn't find during their childhood, or they're trying to find something that they had when they were in the military.
All right, now,
camaraderie and brotherhood.
I don't want to glamorize this crew because obviously you saw what happened in Waco, and a lot of people killed and injured, and they're armed. And we do know that the Bandido gang in Houston does drug deal. There are a bunch of people been convicted for heavyweight narcotics trafficking from the gang. When somebody says to you, gee, you know, you're hanging out with these guys, and some of them are, you said 60% are just regular guys, but that leaves 40% that are doing crimes against the country.
Well, I don't know if they're doing that on a regular basis, but there is a minority of the club that are committing some crimes, but again, it's disorganized, and most of the people don't even know what they're doing. They're doing it by themselves and with other people that aren't members in the club.
Did you ever commit a crime in a club?
Not while I was in the Bandidos. I did when I was a young man, when I was drinking too much. I was in my 20s.
But you didn't do any criminal activity in the Bandidos. Did you witness it? Did you see, you know, crimes being committed, drug dealing, things like that?
No, that was pretty minor stuff. I mean, I saw guys doing a line here or there, or smoking a joint or whatever, or had a gun on them, things like that. I saw some fights, but almost always they were defensive. You know, somebody had started the fight and they finished it.
Did you get in any fights with other rival gangs or even your own gang?
No, that was, you know, not something that the guys that I ran around with that were members and I did. You know, it was a different aspect of it. It's kind of like, you know, there's a lot of different types of individuals in a motorcycle club, and there's a lot of cliques in the club. For example, the guys that like to drink a lot, they all go to the bar and get drunk every night. The guys that like to smoke pot, they go off and smoke pot by themselves. Guys like myself, they got up and went to work every day. The guys I hung out with, they did the same thing.
Okay. Now, we don't know much about the subculture of motorcycle gangs. When you saw the Waco shootout, were you surprised that the Cossacks and the Bandidos were trying to kill each other?
I wasn't surprised at all. It's been building for a long time. It's all over a patch on the Cossacks' back. Outlaw motorcycle clubs traditionally wear a 3-piece patch. The top rocker usually designates the name of the club. The center patch normally is their icon, their logo, and then the bottom rocker typically designates the geographic territory from where they come from. And in this case, the Bandidos have been wearing a Texas rocker for decades, and they typically didn't allow other clubs to wear that Texas bottom rocker. About a year ago, sometime in 2014, the Cossacks told the Bandidos that they were putting on a Texas bottom rocker. The Bandidos told the Cossacks that they couldn't do that, and the Cossacks went ahead and did it anyway. And there has been all sorts of skirmishes and minor assaults and stabbing since then.
Isn't that a little insane to lose your life over a jacket?
Well, it's not even a jacket, Bill. It's the bottom rocker.
No, I got it. But you know what I'm talking about. Isn't that insane?
Yes, and give you an analogy. This is like going back to first grade. when you had a couple of bullies on the playground. As long as they stayed in opposite corners, everything was fine.
All right. Well, there they are. They're all in jail now, 170 of them, and they'll find the 3 that got out by a mistake. Mr. Winterhalder, we appreciate the insight. Thank you.